All right, hello everybody. Um, hopefully, everybody is everybody had a good weekend this weekend. We're gonna give a few more minutes to give a few minutes to let people come in. So while we're waiting, I don't think I'll turn on music, take care of something real quick, and then we'll wait to see if anybody else shows up before we get started. Music on here. All right, so I'll be right back. And I'm back. All right. Yeah. Hello, thank you for the like. We're just waiting around, giving people a chance to come in here. So, anyways, well, we do have one other person here at least. Let's see. We're waiting around for people to come in. Get along, gang, get along, gang. Each one is special in their own way. Coming about, get along, gang, get along, gang. Get on with it, get along, gang. And you know. Okay, so anyways, um, so hopefully everybody had a good weekend. So yeah, so there was some stuff going on over the weekend, niche wise. Of course, from on the Friday shows of like Rampage and SmackDown. Also, some news came out over the weekend here, today. Um, Let's see now. As I said, we're just gonna wait a few more minutes, give people a chance to come in. Let's see. Conan, the adventurer. Conan, man of bravery. He's more powerful than any man. He spreads legend across land and sea. Casper, the friendly ghost, the friendliest ghost you know. He laughs and plays, sings, dance all day. Let's see. And there's something weird in your neighborhood. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters! Da 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 da. Let's go, Ghostbusters! Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, Ghostbusters! Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, Ghostbusters! Let's go, let's go, let's go. Josie and the Pussycats. Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? We got some work to do now. Come on, Scooby Doo, I see you, pretending you got a sliver. You're not fooling me, 'cause I can see the way you shake and shiver. You know you've got a mystery to solve, so Scooby Doo, be ready for your act. Don't hold back. And Scooby Doo, you're gonna have yourself a Scooby snack. That's a fact. Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? You're ready and you're willing. We can count on you, be Scooby Doo. You know we'll catch that villain. Scooby Dooby Doo, looking for you. Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? Over here. All the stars are here, waiting for you. Couldn't have a show without you. Scooby, Scooby Doo. Hey Scooby, where are you? Over here. No, there's three people in here. That's good to see. All right. So, well, we're up to eight. We're coming up on 8.5 minutes. So, might as well get underway with what we've got on tap for tonight. So, what we got on tap for tonight includes, you may see in the banner below there. If you guys can please like and share, so we can bring in more friendly, happy people, positive people. That'd be great. Also, if anything we talk about tonight, if anything grabs your attention that you want to comment on or ask about, go ahead and do so. And if I can answer the question, I'll do my best to do so. So we got on tap for tonight. So initially we're gonna have four stories. It looks like we picked up another one since this afternoon. So let's see. We got Yu Yu Hakusho celebrating its 30-year anniversary with that Crunchyroll to celebrate by releasing a new Blu-ray box set of that Yu Yu Hakusho, the anime Yu Yu Hakusho. Let's see. We also have an opinion piece in regards to the whole Comcast G4 reboot. Um, Opinion piece penned by Jason Smith of Bounding into Comics. We have Marvel at it again doing some race swapping of a character in one of their upcoming movies. And talk about that a bit. Also, Truth, Justice, and the American Way has found its way back into DC comic apparently, or at least a movie of it. So, um, the movie in regards to Batman and Superman Battle of the Super Sons will be bringing back the iconic motto, as well as and we're actually going to be also a story that just came in just before showtime here. Apparently, some commentary from X-Men '97 head writer Bo Maya. Um, let's see. Um, so he's got some comments to say on The Witcher. We're going to go ahead and take a look at that. But we got, of course, the wrestling roundup, you know, and this day needs history. So with all that being said and done, why don't we go ahead and let's get started? And as I said, if you have anything that we comment on catches your attention, feel free to comment on it or ask questions about it. So, said, go ahead and get started here. So, first thing we're going to look at is probably something about one of my all-time favorite animes, Yu Hakusho here, is it's celebrating, of course, its 30th anniversary. Crunchyroll is doing its part in the celebration by getting ready to release a so Crunchyroll to celebrate 30th anniversary of Yu Yu Hakusho with release of new Blu-ray box set. Article by Nerdigans Inc. published this past Friday. Let's see what they have to say here. This, of course, is one of my all-time. I watched the Funimation dub of it. Or Funimation now, Crunchyroll. So it's still pretty good. So back before they basically decided to show everybody their true colors. Anyway, it's been a while. It's been a wild week for mangaka Yoshihiro Tagashi, as less than a week after he announced Hunter long-awaited return to serialization, Crunchyroll has likewise revealed that the anime adaptation of his classic series Yu Yu Hakusho, yes, Tagashi did Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter, will soon be shotgunning um, its way out of the spirit world and onto a new 30th anniversary Blu-ray set. Of course, you got Yusuke and Botan right there. And I guess the OVA Two Shots All or Nothing that was done, I guess, 2018. Let's see, a continual fan favorite and gateway anime series for subsequent generations of fans ever since it first broadcast in Japan on October 10th, 1992. So 3 days after my 17th birthday. Crunchyroll has set to honor the tale of Yusuke Urameshi and his allies with the release of a new special edition box set. There's a pic from the fourth arc. This is from episode 106 of the original series, Battle of Father and Son, 1994, Studio Pharaoh. As per Crunchyroll, this new package will collect all 4 seasons of Studio Pierrot's original take on Yu Yu Hakusho, 112 episodes, um, across a total of 17 discs. In one of the many special features included in this release, each episode will also be presented with the text versions of their respective opening and ending themes. All right. The box set, will also contain an exclusive set of artwork as drawn by chief animation director of the Yu Yu Hakusho OVAs, Hirotaka Marufuji, depicting anime style versions of the characters' portraits originally drawn by Togashi as cover art for the 2004-2005 releases of Yu Yu Hakusho um, Kanzenban, or Perfect Completion, which would have been the editions. So there's Koenma, Kuwabara, Yusuke. So from left to right there, got Koenma, Yusuke, and Kuwabara on the right there. So, and perhaps the set's most exciting exclusive, the Crunchyroll's upcoming release will also feature the first ever Western release of the 2018 Yu Yu Hakusho OVA, Two Shots, All or Nothing. Not only that, but it will also feature the debut of the OVA's long overdue English dub, as provided courtesy of the original Funimation cast. So that being, of course, Sean Michael Teague, who did Koenma, Chris Sabat, who did Kuwabara, and Justin Cook, who did Yusuke Urameshi. And then we have down here, of course, like Hiei on the left there, the one in black, and then the one in purple, Suichi, aka Karama. English voices done by Chuck Huber and John Bergmeyer. Let's see. Any other? Oh, but at least somebody's still there listening, so that's good. Huh. Oh, hey, Robert. Hail our only true Savior, Lord Xenu, his one true prophet, Princess Xenu, and her companion, Saint Gabriel. All right. Anyways, Robert, stick around because I will be getting into some comic news right now. I'm doing some anime story here, but stick around. We will get to some comic news. So I hope you'll be patient with me. Anyways, consisting of two individual stories, each OVA adapts the respective manga chapter of the same name. The OVA's first tale, an adaptation of the extra chapter Two Shots, takes place around a year before the events of the main series and provides the backstory of how the fox demon Kurama joined forces with Hiei and eventually Goki. Interesting. Second, All or Nothing is an adaptation of Yu Yu Hakusho's intense epilogue, as seen in chapter 174 of the manga. Follows Team Urameshi as they confront a literal group of terrorists who have taken over the gates of judgment. Holding Koenma and Botan hostage, they refuse to release their grip on the spirit world unless every demon is removed from the human world, and the barrier between the two is fully restored. So apparently, this terrorist group isn't satisfied at the fact that there's peace between demons and humans in the spirit world. So, anyway, rounding out the set of special features are a number of commentary tracks and mini documentaries, including one of the now defunct Yu Yu Hakusho trading card game, and another featuring the cast thoughts on the series finale. currently on track to be released on January 31st, 2023. The Yu Yu Hakusho 30th anniversary box set is currently available for pre-order on Crunchyroll online store for $89.99. So there we go with that one. Alrighty then. So let's see. Yeah, would like it. That's good. And if you haven't already, if you can like and share this thing, so we get some more friendly people in here, that'd be appreciated. So with that, yeah, one more story before we get into the more comics. As we've been covering this story the last few days too, more of an opinion piece on what's been going on, of course. As many of you know, of course, G4 um, finally, basically shut down. So, opinion: Comcast G4 reboot was doomed to fail long before Frost's sexism in gaming rant. And a lot. This has just basically been the general consensus of everybody. But let's see what Mr. Smith here has to say about the matter um, as we get into this. So, article by Jacob Smith published this past Friday. So here we go. So, your multi-million dollar reboot died in less than a year. For the second time in the last decade, in just 10 months into Comcast NBC Universal attempt to revive it, G4 is officially dead. The door shut on its legacy, this time for good. 7 weeks. That's all the time it took for now former X-Play host Indiana Black, aka Frost, to blow the whole thing to bits with their now infamous rant. Now, granted, as I said, the consensus has been that, you know, even though a lot of people are blaming that for its downfall, it's not it's not solely Frost's fault, albeit her rant accelerated, what many people believe, accelerated the process. In a surprise to absolutely no one, after she dismissively wrote off critics as disgusting sexist and told both current and potential audiences, quote, if you don't like it, don't watch it, unquote. People chose not to watch. Yeah, every time somebody utters those words, they end up regretting it. Okay? Frost was the latest to do it. We know that the Tonic, Kelly Sue DeConnick, um, did the same thing. He followed those advice. So, yeah, those words, people should learn by now not to utter those words because people are liable to take it seriously. Now, of course, we can sit here and lay blame for the destruction of G-Force legacy on Frost, uttering those three simple words, sexism in gaming, quote unquote. But that wouldn't be telling you the whole story, and that is true. Believe it or not, G-Force Revival was dead on arrival years before Frost ever opened her mouth. And why? Because after 10 years, NBC Universal never addressed the true reason why G4 died in the first place. Interesting. Let's rewind. Well, some people would argue that, hey, Rick, thanks for popping in. If you haven't already, you can like and share the thing. So we get some more friendly people in here. That'd be appreciated. And thank you for that. Yeah, so let's see now. Let's rewind. Initially launched on April 24th, 2002, G4 was born of an era when the novelty of having thousands of channels to watch was as strong a gimmick for digital cable customers as the concept of a video game centric television channel. Hmm. A network, quote, for gamers by gamers, unquote. That was G4's original motto. Though it had a solid enough premise, things started off less than smooth for G4, as the network had a significant problem with outreach. In its early days, G4 was only available in roughly 15 million households, and at the time, Comcast's budget was too small to allow for the company to put any significant investment into promoting the network to potential viewers. That was where Tech TV, a digital network whose target demographic was the same as G4's, but whose content focused on technology and the internet over gaming came in. So basically, Tech TV and G4 were sister channels, basically. Hmm. Oh, look at that. There's a younger Adam Sessler, the guy who's the TDS, the guy who's got serious TDS, and Morgan Webb. Morgan Webb, one of the two young women that Frost had that rant about. Tech TV had two things that G4 did not: programming and outreach. Despite its current reputation as the missile that sunk G4 ship X-Play, um, missile that sunk G4 ship, X-Play started out as one of Tech TV's flagship programs, hosted by Morgan Webb and Adam Sessler. The show popularized the idea of on-screen video game reviews made up of equal parts humorous skits and analysis. So initially, the whole concept of G4 having a full-on TV station, TV network devoted to the concept, initially started out as a pro. Of course, that's how a lot of stuff starts. Um, hell, Lord, hell, Lord of Snowdrift. Oh yeah. Hello. It looks like we got. Wow, we're having more people come in. Thank you, everybody, for popping in and saying hi and liking and sharing the stream. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. Anyways, um, let's get back to the article here. Perhaps the most well-known show was The Screensavers, a computer and technology-focused program hosted by Leo Laporte, whose hosting career continues to flourish to this day, which sought to help viewers with their hardware and software related questions. Hmm. Yeah, well, if Leo just focused just strictly on that, that's probably why he's still successful. Didn't get into any like he probably was a lot wiser than some of the people we're talking about here. Taking notice of this disparity on March 25th, 2004, Comcast finalized a deal to purchase Tech TV from billionaire Paul Allen, merging it together with G4 TV, create the short-lived G4 Tech TV. Comcast combined the best of both networks in an attempt to create a lineup of content that rivals any other digital network in the mid 2000s. So that what they were probably trying to do here was they're trying to bring the tech community and the gaming community together and under one umbrella. Hmm. At least in theory, it sounds like a good idea. I wonder what happened. I guess we'll find out here in the next statement here or something like that. Yet G4 TVs ultimately run only lasted. Okay, they kind of switched the word. Should probably say yet before tech TV's run ultimately. So ultimately, run should probably be switched around there. Run ultimately only lasted a little over 8 months, as internal politics quickly brought the network's aspirations crashing back down to reality. Ah, internal politics. I wonder what that means after the show. After acquiring Tech TV, V4 proceeded to fire the majority of the former employees from their San Francisco offices and moved the entire joint operation to Los Angeles. Hmm. So basically, um, they shuttered Tech TV. Not only that, but they ended up making so many cuts to Tech TV's programming that only shows left from the network standalone run was X-Play and the Screensaver. Though the latter was rebranded into Attack of the Show. I do remember hearing a little bit about that. Eventually, G4 Tech TV would once again become simply G4, and it was this move that ultimately led to the channel's downfall. Though they had X-Play and Attack of the Show, G4 was desperate for any content that could keep audiences engaged and advertise that. So essentially, what they did was they tried to combine the two companies, tried to bring the two communities together, and then decided to you know, shutter the tech half of the company. Shutter it. They closed down they basically closed down the, the the that part of the department. They got rid of all the people who made up that department, and therefore probably alienated about half of their audience in the process. That's a real bright move, isn't it? Yeah, let's try to combine these instead of working through whatever issues there are. Let's just pick this half of it out and just go with this half. And and the half we're going to choose to go with, we're going to go with the weaker half of the two. Go figure. Go figure. Uh, now, what I mean by weaker half is, before they tried to merge, of course, based on what they're saying in this article here, before they tried to merge the two companies, Tech TV was the stronger channel of the two channels. Yet after trying to combine the two channels, they decided to they decided to they decided to kick Popeye out to embrace Wimpy, to showcase Wimpy. Okay, if you get that analogy, you know. In other words, they basically kicked out the stronger. Um, Speaking of Snowdrift, Robert just um, record audio for page 20. Speed, speed, um, speed painting, or if good. Yeah, and Rick, of course, I think you have a wrench, so if you want to share your link, see that you're more than welcome to. Um, just so you know. Anyway, um, so yeah, so basically they kicked out the stronger of the two shows because Tech TV, prior to the merging, Tech TV was actually the stronger of the two shows. It had more of the fan, it had a larger fan base. Its hosts were more popular, obviously. You know, not to say that there weren't people at T4 that people obviously from according to Frost Rant, Morgan Webb and Olivia Munn were pretty popular. You know, of course, I don't think they ever did what Frost did, just told the fans where they go tickets. um, movement ultimately, okay. Any content that can keep audiences engaged. Yeah. By 2010, G4 was creatively bankrupt. As a result, the network took to airing more in quote variety type programs over gaming specifically, such as Ninja Warrior, Cheaters, and a handful of random Japanese game shows. Ah, yeah, it sounds like they lost their focus. Sounds like they just completely lost their focus. At this point, they were trying to make G4. It sounds like they were trying to make G4 a geek channel. Just anything, everything geek. Yes, or Cheaters isn't really a. That's more of a reality kit, like about people, about investigators who investigate people cheating on their spouses and all that, boyfriend and girlfriend. Unsurprisingly, offering only two flagship shows, giving up the rest of its daily airtime with a 20-hour block of cheaters, wasn't keeping anyone from changing. Yeah, okay, a 20-hour block of cheaters. Okay, I think once in a while that's okay. Like what Decades does, you know, at least Decades when they do it, when they have like a full weekend of one program, they at least will change the program every week. But if you're having a 20-hour block of one program every single day, you're going to get a lot of regurgitation. People are just going to go, "Ugh, I'm gone." This is, I mean, you can only take so much of any one program. I don't know if anybody could take 6 hours of any one program like on a constant daily basis. No less 20. So there's actually so. Then on November 1st, 2010, G4 suffered quite possibly its killing blow when DirecTV announced that it would stop offering the channel due to low viewership. So there you go. So now you even have one of your carriers saying, "Hey, look, you're not even making it worth our while to keep you on here." How many hours do I have to put in to get a wrench? I don't quite understand you record your recorded audio of you while you okay. So he's asking me here how many hours. Um, well, Robert, I hadn't been giving out. I don't sit there and give out a whole lot of wrenches just because I'm a smaller channel. Um, I have been giving out. Hadn't really thought about giving out any more wrenches for a while here, but if you there's always a possibility you just stick around. I might decide to give you one at some point. because the thing is, the way I look at wrenches, and a lot of, even though I know a lot of people, I know a lot of people will just give wrenches away, so people can promote stuff, and that's why a lot of these guys have them. Because I usually look, when as I understood the concept of the wrench, when you're making somebody a moderator, it's, you know, it it's putting on them a lot of responsibility, you know, um, a lot of responsibility and control and authority. Um, and most people haven't been abusing it, so um, I have been a little bit looser when it's been like the creators because doing my part to help them promote stuff. But I'm not just somebody who likes to just hand out wrenches like they were candy because then it becomes meaningless. But as I said, stick around. You know, I may decide to give you a wrench at some point. You're around enough and you're helping out with the channel and you're contributing. I'm glad you're here. It looks like you're contributing a lot more. So just stick with it. You may get my attention enough where I may give you a wrench. You have to wait and see. Oh boy, actually not very good. Anyways, let's see. I recorded me covering page 20 when done finalized. I speed up recording, took out the original audio, and I let the speed up coloring play. It covered new of me. Now, Robert, what I can tell you is this: if you prove to be pretty regular and you start coming in like at the beginning of the show and sticking through the end, you're more likely will get a wrench because my regulars I will usually give a wrench to ones who prove to be regular, and regular meaning you come in, if you can try to come in at the very beginning and stay till the very end. So you know uh, that's one of the other things I look at too and figuring out wrenches. But anyways, let's get back to the article here. Um, Quote, since G4 is among the lowest rated networks based on the latest Nielsen data, we decided that it made sense to focus on presenting programming that is more relevant to our larger customer base, unquote, said DirecTV at the time, making it clear that they saw no value in the network. So I think again, the changing of the network, um, changing of the network, um, programming, you know, losing I guess the higher ups at the original G4 losing their focus, and then of course, sure the absolute dumbest thing in the world of shuttering your stronger product. That's what basically killed this show. Mm. that. Continue on with the article here. In the wake of this decision, Attack of the Show host Kevin Pereira and Olivia Munn, whose chemistry was the only reason the show worked in the first place, left G4 to pursue their own respective Hollywood careers. So basically, from the looks of it, their two biggest stars, basically their two biggest stars at this point just saw that the ship was sinking. Let's get off this thing before we drown with the ship. That's basically what happened there. Back of the show would never recover from the loss. This is a fundamental problem with the effort to reboot. Um, this is a fundamental problem with the effort to reboot G4. After being told 12 years ago that G4 had no value in the eyes of audiences, NBC Universal decided to try again, but with no consideration to the question of, quote, how are we going to sell something to people they weren't interested in back in 2010? Well, okay, I think I think what this I think G4 tried to go back to what it was before 2010. They tried to go back to make it a gamer focused channel, which would have generally worked. But let's see how they explain it. Instead, those in charge thought the simple act of bringing back X-Play and Attack on the Show in 2021 would lead viewers to flock back to the network. Well, not yeah, that that would only be part of it. However, they failed to realize that a lot has changed over the last decade and not for the better. Well, yeah, because some of it is the fact that you have more competition now because with people able to stream themselves, everybody can now stream their own content. Yeah, so a lot of stuff that G4 was doing, a lot of other people were doing as well on Twitch and on YouTube and stuff. Yes, G4 did have its own YouTube channel, but they were competing with people who probably were better at what they were doing than what they were doing. But the writing was on the walls for the G4 format even before its second official revival. Years after G4's first death, Herrera tried to keep the show going and attempted to revive Attack of the Show on his own method, launching a similarly styled show called The Attack on YouTube and Twitch. Yet, even with the network's longest tenured history at the helm, and other former G4 hosts like Candice Bailey and Sarah Underwood popping in from time to time, the attack never worked. Problem was, by 2015, no one was interested in an Attack on the Show style program, much less a near one-to-one clone of the entire thing. Hmm. So basically, what they're saying is um, people's styles and preferences have changed from the time it went off the air. Um, hey. Huh. All right. So, anyways, um, getting back to things got so bad for Pereira that at one point the host was busted for view-botting his stream in an attempt to make it seem like the show had more interest than it actually did. Pereira's show died roughly 2 years before NBC Universal decided to officially revive um, before, and yet the powers that be decided to continue moving forward with reviving a show that nobody wanted to watch, making no real changes to its presentation and putting it up as the tentpole of the network reboot. So basically, what it came down to is they basically put a rotting tentpole, tried to sustain something that was not going to garner any interest. Um, then there is the Adam Sessler problem. Sessler was fired from X Play in 2012 because he had grown a reputation for being difficult to work with. And as the years passed, his mental state would only deteriorate as he started yelling at gamers, female dogging about the general industry, and overall just becoming a miserable person. Then came Donald Trump. Oh boy. The election of Trump was for Sessler, like many, the straw that broke the camel's back from their rationality. After the former president was elected to office, Sessler went on to become one of the most prominent faces of the internet's, um, in smaller quotes, punch a national socialist, and it's and in smaller quotes, it's okay to dox people I don't like movement. Hmm. Sounds like the guy's got a genuine screw loose. Sounds like the guy may need to be locked in an asylum somewhere. Maybe people need to go put the straitjacket on him and take him to a rubber room for him to get some rest. At this point, long-term fans of Sessler, some going as far back to his days on Tech TV and Zip Davis TV, could no longer stand to listen to him. With every outburst, and there were many, Sessler lost fans, popularity, and his credibility. And he says he's still not he's still woke and not broke. Huh? Okay. So when considering a revival of X Play, who did NBC Universal tap to host it? Not Morgan Webb, who was, of course, the popular one of the series, probably the one everybody wanted to see, who still maintains a significant level of likability with the overwhelming fans of both Tech TV and the original G4, nor any of the numerous G4 personalities that people still admire, such as Chris Hardwick, Alison Haislip, Kristen Adams, Chris Gore, Blair Butler, Layla Cayley, and so many others who didn't return to the venture. No, they brought back Sessler and brought in people like Frost. Ah. On one hand, it admittingly made sense to bring him back. Sessler has been associated with the network going all the way back to 1998. For a while, served as one of its main faces. But as said before, the man available for work now is not the same Adam from 24 years ago. Yeah, he's a totally delusional, deranged individual who probably needs to be locked in an asylum somewhere. Rather, this is a Sessler who has become a hate monger, soaks in his own misery, and even gone so far as to wish death to those related to him because of their political voting history. To make matters worse, G4 then doubled down on handing the reboot's reins to unlikable personalities by hiring Frost to co host the show. That's right, two people that no one wanted to watch were put in charge of a show with a historical viewership problem. Folks, G4's revival was never going to work. Not yet, not with that, not with how they did it. You bring back a show that people lost interest in, you bring back a show that lost its focus, and then to host said show, you bring in people that nobody wants to listen to or watch. Yeah, that's like you might as well just throw the channel throw that channel in quicksand. uh, there's Allison Hayslip on Couch Soup or Hayslip rather. Even aside from its abysmal choice in host, the odds of their success for G4 2022 even worse than they were in the late 2000s, thanks to one simple factor: the internet. That's something I talked about earlier, and that's something that many people have talked about since this whole story's been going on. The idea is you have more content out there now because of the internet. You have more people streaming and more gamers streaming. So, I mean, I know of a VTuber who streams video game. He plays video games. Leto, one of our guys, one of my branches. He does a lot of that. I think Solid does too. Solid Redfield does too. Um, with outlets like YouTube and Twitch allowing for regular players to make let's plays, cover gaming news, and entertain with original content, likewise, esports has brought a significant rise to both popularity and public support of multiplayer games. What was once considered niche has now become mainstream. So much so, the market has become somewhat saturated. Yeah, exactly. So, in this environment, how could two shows that struggled to find an audience 12 years ago effectively endear itself to viewers today? We now know the answer to that question. They couldn't. And as a result, G4 is dead again. This time for good, probably, because again, it has pointed out here, unless they change things up a bit, to bring on more likable people, it's never going to succeed. It's never going to come back. Okay, and it probably shouldn't. Talk about the idea of beating a dead horse, right? In my opinion, the brutal truth is that G4 peaked during 8.5 months in which it was granted G4 FTV. Um, Outside of that window, the brand has been fighting a losing battle for going on 17 years, and clearly, no one seems to have learned any lessons from the G4's battle. I'd have to agree with that analysis. The challenges can only go so far. It is time for G4's legacy to rest in peace. It is true. I mean, yeah, it probably is, again, because if you were going to bring it back, you needed to bring back the right people, and he didn't. So, look at that. I don't know if that was like the last show they did, and people were sad to see it go. So, all right, so there we go with that one article. So the next one here, we'll see what- Yes, that's good. That's good. We just passed the hour mark, so that's good. Uh, Alrighty then. So let's go ahead and move on to the next article. I hope you guys are enjoying it. As always, guys, if you feel if anything catches your attention, if you want to comment on, or ask questions, and do so, I'll do my best to answer the questions if I can. Anyway, let's move on to the next article. So, rumor: Marvel seeking to cast Aquaman star Yahya Abdul Mateen II as race swapped Wonder Man. Article by Spencer Baculey, published October 22nd, which was this past Saturday. Comic books and movies. Okay. So, according to a new rumor, Marvel is looking to enlist the acting chops of Aquaman star Yahya Abdul Mateen II to bringing iconic supervillain turned Avengers mainstay Wonder Man to their shared cinematic universe. The latest whisper regarding MCU's future was first let loose um, on October 18th, courtesy of pop culture news outlet Screen Geek. So October 18th, that would have been that's 6 days ago. So that was just last Tuesday. Who obtained a casting grid for Marvel's Wonder Man that um, confirms three leads for the project, one of whom is Simon Williams, a failed actor. Unquote. Quote, according to the grid, Yahya Abdul Mateen II is in talks for the role, unquote, added the site's founder and editor-in-chief, Frank Palmer. Quote, the other two roles are for the female lead and Simon Williams' manager. Okay. Though Screen Geek was unable to confirm any details regarding which Marvel project will feature the debut of the former Master of Evil, it's safe to speculate that it will likely be the character's upcoming live-action Disney Plus series. Set to be helmed by Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings director slash writer Destin Daniel Cretton and Brooklyn Nine-Nine writer Andrew Guest, Wonder Man is currently in the very early stages of development. There's a comic panel from where you have Wonder Man alongside Spider-Man. Yeah, Wonder Man Volume 2, number 13, Factory, 1983, Marvel Comics. Words by Gerald Jones, Gerard Jones, by Ron Randell, John Hadad, introduced within the pages of 1964's The Avengers Volume 1, Number 9. Simon Williams is depicted as a parallel to Tony Stark. He is a similar owner by inheritance of Stark um, Industries' rival weapons manufacturer Williams Innovation. However, unlike Tony, Simon is unable to keep his family's company afloat, and after being caught in a last-ditch effort to embezzle what he could, Williams Innovation, before it was shuttered, eventually finds himself behind bars. Taking advantage of his fragile state and his growing belief that Tony was to blame for his failures, Baron Zemo soon approaches Simon and offers him the power to enact revenge on the armored Avenger. Leaping to accept the villain's offer, Simon is then infused with ionic energy, in the process transforming into the superhuman Wonder Man. There's his look there, the classic look. Is, in smaller quotes, power up successful, Wonder Man is ordered by Zemo under threat that the villain would deny him access to the serum he needs to stave off the more fatal side effects of his new form, to act as an Avengers sleeper agent for his group of supervillains, the Masters of Evil. Though he is successful at joining their ranks, when the time comes to betray them, Simon finds himself unable to do so, instead sacrificing himself to save the Avengers from Zemo's plans. You got Wonder Man there with Iron Man. You got Ant Man, Wasp, and Captain America and Thor there as well. Making sporadic appearances throughout the Avengers stories from then on, Wonder Man would come to be a near household name amongst Marvel fans upon his joining of the aforementioned team in the 1970s. As a member of Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Wonder Man found himself involved in a number of Avengers' most iconic stories, including the Korvac saga, the Kang Dynasty saga, and even serving as a founding member of the team's West Coast branch, all the while trying and failing to establish a tenable Hollywood acting career. Hmm. In the years that followed, Simon found himself disillusioned with the superhero life, having come to be a stark believer in the idea that Marvel's superhumans cause more problems than they solve. Sadly, his flawed outlook on his former companions, coupled with his ever burning drive to, to save others, would lead him to go to great lengths to put an end to their heroics by founding the anti Avengers supervillain team, the Revengers. The Avengers Revengers. Okay. More recently, Simon has returned to the side of the Angels, with Captain America even extending an eventually accepted invitation to him to join his Avengers Unity Squad, a membership which would see him trapped for a time with teammate Rogue's body within teammate Rogue's body. Not only that, but he has since given up violence completely, choosing to use his abilities defensively in service of saving others rather than using them in superpowered smackdowns. However, outside of this brief appearance in the big leagues, Wonder Man has unfortunately since been relegated to various cameos in event splash pages. Well, that's probably what happens when you become a defensive superhero. It's like defense is not always as exciting as offense, even though sometimes it may end up working out better for you in the end. Better defense than offense. Interestingly, should should he accept the role, Abdul Mateen the second, will be the second actor cast to portray the Avenger slash actor in the MCU. As per director James Gunn, though his appearance never made it to screen, he had intended for Firefly star Nathan Fillion, who voiced Vigilante in a couple episodes of Justice League Unlimited, to portray Simon in a cameo capacity in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. According to Gunn, Simon would have appeared on in-universe movie posters as an actor portraying Marvel, old school Marvel, Conan the Barbarian analog, Archon the Magnificent, ostensibly in a film released during Quill's brief childhood time on Earth. Why, at James Gunn, why would you cut Nathan Fillion? Got so here's a tweet from Lauren Holly, I guess, the actress Lauren Holly. Okay, so there we go with that one. All right, so getting ready to move on to the next article then. All righty, so this should be an exciting one for people. If they still out there listening in, if they're watching. Hmm. In smaller quotes, Batman and Superman Battle of the Super Sons brings back the Man of Steel's iconic, in quotes, truth, justice, and the American way motto. Article by J.D. Augustine, published earlier today. All right, so this is one that says, well, anyways, Continue on here. Out of all the changes Tom Taylor made to the mythos in Superman Son of Kal-El, the most egregiously dividing was altering the hero's motto from the iconic truth, justice, and the American way, quote unquote, to a fairly generic, quote, truth, justice, and a better tomorrow, unquote. This new slogan proved to be so badly revolting to a number of well established DC creatives that one of them, colorist Gabe Eltabe, abruptly quit the company a year ago and expressed his displeasure openly on the way out. Well, fear not, good citizens. There is a sign that the pendulum is swinging back in favor of the old school fans who preferred Superman and his catchphrase the way they were. Those little words, quote unquote, the American way, are restored in Warner Animation's latest DC feature, Batman and Superman Battle of the Super Sons, uses the iconic maxim coined in the days of George Reeves and the black and white TV at least once. Hmm. Well, we do know that I think David Zaslav knows what's right, and that's why he probably told him, "Hey, you better put that thing back in there, dude." A clip from the animated film has surfaced online. In it, Superman is flying above the clouds with his son Jonathan. On his way back, a doting dad, Clark, is explaining to his boy what a true blue hero is when he utters what everyone hoped to hear. And there's of course a scene from the Adventures of Superman TV series from back in the 50s, 1952. Oh, my real job, is helping the world, unquote, he said. Quote, standing for truth and justice in the American way, wherever that takes me. Unquote. Wow. Now that does sound more like the Superman we all remember. The problem is, this case could be a one-off return to perform for WB than a more permanent one as Discovery's overall review is only beginning. Still run by and filled with people who think establishment characters need changing to quote unquote reflect our time as they see them. Warner Brothers Discovery hasn't gotten cleaning the house of DC yet. A small moment like the one in Super Sons is a step in the right direction, though. The Super Sons, where you have Jonathan and Damian there doing their work, pitting Batman, Superman, and their young sons, John and Damian, against the threat of Starro, Batman and Superman Battle of the Super Sons is available now in 4K on Blu-ray and digital. All right, there we go with that one. That one was a quick read. All right, so originally we were only going to do those four, but another article came up. Uh, I might get that to watch. All right, hey, Rick. Mhm. Like I would probably, I might, there might be times I might watch some of the, I might get around to watching some of the newer animated stuff. Without working my way. I'm working my way through a lot of DC animated properties right now. Currently, going back and watching Teen Titans again because we still got a long ways to go before we get to any of this. All right, so this is going to be the last article we're going to look at tonight. This one just kind of popped in at the last moment, basically came in just before we went on the air here. So we're already at an hour. Look at that classic 90s animation of Wolverine who was voiced by Cal Dodd. Showed up on showed up on anyway. X-Men 97 head writer Bo DeMaio recalls some writers on Netflix's The Witcher actively mocked the source material. Says this mindset is a recipe for disaster and bad morale. Article by Spencer Cooley um, published um, earlier today. So, this is probably more about The Witcher. So, since it's X-Men 97, that's why. According to head writer of Disney and Marvel's upcoming X-Men 97 animated sequel series, Bo DeMaio, he encountered a number of writers during his time working on Netflix's The Witcher who, quote, actively mocked the source material, unquote. A mentality which he believes is the death knell of any given production. So this guy would seem to be more, respect the source material. Cool. Mayo, whose involvement with Netflix's take on Andrzej Sapkowski's seminal fantasy work, included pinning the episode Betrayer Moon, season 1, episode 3, and Scare Morin, um, season 2, episode 2, as well as the anime styled The Witcher Nightmare of Wolf film. Um, revealed his thoughts on Hollywood's active disdain for beloved properties during a recent X-Men 97 specific Q&A session held via Instagram story feature. As per a transcript um, of the already, okay, so go back up to the USB. So this, of course, is from X-Men, the animated series, season 3, episode 16, Dark Phoenix. This is from the Dark. This scene's from the Dark Phoenix saga. So, as per the transcript of the already lost to the ether Q&A provided by the Direct, the showrunner spoke to this specific issue after being asked by a fan if he could, quote, discuss how the production team came about, like how they were recruited for X-Men 97. Quote, for sure, unquote, he recalled. Quote, in fall of 2020, Marvel's head of streaming asked me to develop a tape to revive this show. From there, I pitched it out, was hired. My LP was the first hire, and he brought along um, all the amazing talent that followed. This is from the Spider-Man the Animated Series, season 2, episode 5, Meet the Revenge. This is from the two-parter that where the X-Men from the '90s series had just started on Spider-Man. However, DeMaio then revealed that he had one specific requirement for anyone who wanted to join the team. So, my general rule was you had to be a fan, no question. This, he continued, was born out of his experiences, quote, on show, namely The Witcher, where some of the writers were not or active were not or actively disliked the books and games, even actively mocking the source material. Quote, it's a recipe for disaster and bad morale, he adamantly declared. Unquote. Quote, fandom as a litmus test checks egos and makes all the long nights worth it. You have to respect the work before you're allowed to add to its legacy. Which is true. I mean, why would you want somebody who didn't respect the legacy? Why would you want somebody who who wants to change what is what has long been successful? I mean, that just doesn't make any sense, right? Really just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Let's see. Okay. Um, to this end, I asked in conclusion to this Q&A if he was, quote, worried about fan reaction to X-Men 97, unquote. DeMaio confidently concluded, quote, I care, but am not worried. So this is from season 4 of the 15 X-Men, Weapon X Lies and Video Series. Notably, this is not the first time DeMaio has spoken to the which is smaller quote spark that such genuine fanaticism has brought to X-Men 97. Here's a scene from Cyclops, season 3, episode 8, No Mutant Island. In a previous interview regarding the series given to the Direct, DeMaio opined, quote, I think the challenge to me, in brackets, in working on a follow-up to X-Men the Animated Series, unbracketed, um, was honoring the earnestness and emotional sincerity in the show, where it wasn't just about um, the big bad of the day, unquote. Quote, and I always just come back, um, always just come back um, whenever we're talking in the writer's room or we're talking to the directors. It's just like we have to have earnest emotion in every scene. He further noticed, quote, as I really do think that was the secret sauce in the original series. All right. This scene from for episode 19, Beyond Good and Evil Part 2, Promises of Apocalypse. X-Men 97 is currently set to hit Disney Plus sometime in fall 2023. Wow, taking a long time to get going here. This is from season 3, Xavier Remembers. All right, so So there we go. So that's all we have for the main news articles tonight. Um, let's see. So we're about to hit the wrestling roundup here. So let me see now. Okay, so we do have some WWE news and some AW. So on the WWE side of things, so it was recently announced that that Kevin Nash's son Tristan had passed away. The details of that were Kevin Kevin had actually released some of the details on that. So apparently his son had died of a seizure, was really brought about from the two of them trying to quit drinking alcohol full circle. So, so that's what led to passing. So, so now, from what we've heard, of course, Ric Flair has reached out to Kevin Nash, being able to share his own experiences, after losing Reed back in 2013. His younger son. So that's nice to see. There's some talk too that Sasha Banks maybe possibly be looking to come back to the U. Uh, the WWE continues to prepare for Crown Jewel a week from this Friday, this Saturday, November 5th. So, um, now on the AEW side of it, it looks like AEW, and I may have mentioned this last week, AEW may be looking to buy out um, the remainder of contract. There was some talk that WWE may be considering trying to bring him in, to kind of put the screw over on AEW, but it would appear that CM Punk has made himself a pariah. Nobody. Now, of course, some of the results from over the weekend as well. Um, on on Friday's Rampage, of course, um, Brooke retained the FCW title over Ari Daivari in the very first. Um, the Acclaimed retained their tag titles over the varsity athletes. Um, Not only did they retain their title, but they also got the right to use the scissors, the scissors me daddy thing again. So, um, let's see. Also, more announcements where as we get a little closer, probably over the next week, we'll start talking a little bit more about some of the stuff coming up in the next few weeks here. As I said, Crown Jewel is next Saturday, and then the following week you've got Hard Times going on as well. Hard Times NWA as well as Full Gear. We are getting more closer to that, as and then the following week, Impact Wrestling's Overdrive will be happening as well. So a lot of action coming up wrestling wise. Um, anyways, all the news I have for you. So it would be a good time to start wrapping things up a bit. I start winding down a bit here um, as we will. So today being Monday, um, today being Monday, Today being Monday, Monday, October 24th. Time to take a look back at this day in each history. History! All right. So, anyways, so we're here. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look back at this day in history. First off, we're going to head back all the way back to 1972, as 50 years ago today, something significant actually happened in the realm of professional wrestling, particularly in the history of the WWE, WWF, and WWF. On this date, back in 1972, um, 50 years ago today, Andre the Giant would make his first WWE appearance, teaming with Pedro WWF heavyweight champion Pedro Morales in a match against the WWF Tag Team Champion Mr. Fuji and Professor Tanaka um, at an event in White Plains, New York. Of course, Andre's first televised appearance for the WWF wouldn't happen until early 1970. But on this date in 1972, Andre the Giant would make his first official appearance with the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, the organization we know today as the World Wrestling Federation. So there we go with that one. So with that one. Also on this date in also on this date in 2001, 2001, um, the 170th issue of Jughead with Archie Digest magazine would go on sale on this date back in 2001. So for 2019, now part of the reason why it was a 96-page comic. So as I said, it was a digest magazine. So on this date back in 2001, the 170th issue of Jughead with Archie Digest magazine would go on sale on this date in 2001. So there we go with that one. All right, and finally, on this date 5 years ago today, a little bit of more sadder news, as it were. On this date, 2017, 5 years ago today, actor Robert Guillaume, who many people remember as Benson Dubois from the television shows Soap and the spinoff Benson, um, passed away at the age of 89 on this date in 2017, 5 years ago today. Now, from the anime side of it, the animation side of it, um, aside from the roles, of course, of Benson Dubois, of course, he had the role of Benson Dubois in Soap and Benson. He was also in Lean on Me with Morgan Freeman. Aside from that, on the animated side of it, he had provided the voice of Rafiki, the Lion King franchise, um, Mr. Thicknose, and The Land Before Time 8, The Big Freeze, and in The Adventures of Tom Thumb and Thumbelina, Mr. Orbar, Orblarb, in the Addams Family episode Color Me Adams, Dr. Parker and the Proud Family, on Family Line. So on this date in 2017, 5 years ago today, Robert Guillaume would pass the age of 89. So there we go, everybody. I thank everybody for being here tonight. I thank you guys for the likes and the shares. Hopefully, we can start getting more people on here soon. And I can find the cursor. And I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow night. And don't forget this Friday, of course. So we'll be back here tomorrow night doing more niche news coverage. Also, we will be on this Friday. RJ Carter from Critical Blast will be joining me as we'll be continuing our look at comics that went on sale in June of 1939. We'll be focusing in on David McKay publications and Eastern Color. Be doing a lot of our reading out of Famous Funnies number 60. So with that, I thank everybody for being here tonight. I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Yeah. All right. I'll see everybody. I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.